Please, we stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Missy, you want to do roll call?
Tanya,
Here.
Ryan,
Here.
Livy, Fritz, John.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
I don't know if you picked up Libby. I think she's online.
Oh,
There she-
Libby, are you here, Libby?
You can't hear. Can we?
Thank you.
Are you you're muted, dear?
There we go. Now I'm here.
Okay. All right. We're going to make a change on the agenda to move new business H up to A in new business. So we'll look for a motion to approve those changes.
I'll make a motion to move new business H up to new business A.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. And looking for a motion to approve meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from August 3rd, 2026.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And you go ahead. The executive session.
Yeah, we had an executive session and only what was discussed, only what was posted was discussed.
Correct. Okay. First up, we have old business, which is the council to consider the second reading of Ordinance 2026-8A, establishing the residential rental registration.
Do you want me to start off?
Yes, if you would, please.
So as we've been discussing for quite some time now, and at the last meeting on first reading, you have before you both a clean copy for signature and a red line copy showing the changes that have been made in the signature copy from the introduced version. There was a mistake at the last one that some of the changes that I was explaining to the council that we're making, the majority of which were changes that we arrived at with working with the attorney for the Indiana Apartment Association. That copy didn't get printed for you, so those changes are in there now, all of those pieces. So we discussed a lot of those changes. A lot of it was clarification just to make sure that it was clear with what's allowed under the law, not only in how multifamily rental units are treated, also making adjustments to if you have a multifamily or rental unit that has an LLC with multiple owners, listing one owner, still having to list a human being and an actual address, but making it more workable for those types of situations. Also clarifying the difference between registration and permit. And the changes that we made as discussed in the public meeting with the interested parties about providing a grace period or a cure period. That was in the last one's in this as well. A 30-day grace period. If the inspector comes out and finds something, issues a notice, that the property owner would have 30 days to bring the property into compliance before a violation with any sort of penalty would attach. And then one other item to just draw your attention to that we will need to, if you choose to move forward and adopt this tonight, on the third page of the signature copy under 157.04 registration required. In the first section there, A, when we had drafted this, it was, all existing rental units shall be registered with the town between August 1st, 2026 and November 1st, 2026. We're beyond August 1st. So perhaps change that. My suggestion would be if you move forward and adopt it tonight, September 1st and then December 31st, get it all done before the end of the year, or however you'd like to discuss, but that is one change that we would need to add to this. Similarly, if you wanted to, in 157.06, we had a $5 registration fee that was waived until November 1st, 2026. If you wanted to move that to whatever that second date that you picked in 157.04 to make that consistent, you could do that as well, or you could leave it at the registration fees waived until November 1st.
So if we approve this, will we sign this tonight then?
Yes.
Okay, just based on
Would-
the changes that
Yep,
we'll
and I
make
would
here.
just clean up that language and add
Okay.
that.
So Jerry, what would be a good timeline then to be able to get the, I guess the registration form drawn up?
Do you want to make it till December 31st? You want to go till the end of the year?
Would
Yeah,
September
September
1st
1st,
give
but-
you enough time then to draw up the documentation? Okay.
So in 157.04, the proposal would be to change registration between September 1st and December 31st would be the deadline. Also in that same subparagraph 157.04A, we had a date of July 1, 2026. I think we just moved that to the adoption, upon the adoption of the ordinance, just to get rid of that date. There's also a July 1 date in 157.08 that we could do the same thing. Instead of saying as of July 1, 2026, just say as of adoption of the ordinance.
Any other questions for Alex? Do we have any other public questions or comments regarding the? Come on up, Bob.
My knowledge, this is a new release with a markup, or has this markup been around a while? Is it new? A recent,
The council has seen this markup.
Yes.
Yeah.
how long have you guys had benefit of it?
They've seen
This is
the,
my-
It was
this is
like-
my first time to see it.
that's what the public meeting is for.
Oh,
You're right.
but you've already told me more tonight than I can consume and give an opinion about.
Well, everything that I've mentioned tonight, I actually went through at the last meeting as well.
So that
So
was,
all of these changes were discussed as
Okay.
proposed changes as proposed, some of them by the Indiana Apartment Association and their attorney, and then some from the public meeting that you participated in before the first reading.
is there an unmarked iteration of this available right now?
You have it in your email box because I
I-
emailed it to
I
you about
got
3
it.
o'clock this
I went
afternoon.
through it. Didn't have time to digest it at all. But what I have is this minus the marking.
I don't know what marking, I mean, what we're talking about right now in the meeting,
Okay.
changing those
It
dates.
just
The
date,
one I picked up here.
yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what they're all looking
What
at.
I got in my
think.
email at 4 o'clock was this reduced to no marks. The
There were-
clean version.
Yes.
There were 2 documents.
Okay.
There's a clean version.
I must have opened the finish one then.
Yeah.
I didn't have time
And
to.
what you'll see, I'll tell you, in the red line version that you got in your email, instead of having these dates that we're talking about, I had actually inserted blanks,
Okay, so,
but that's not a substantive difference.
well, what I would ask for is that we get some time to where we can digest this. Because this is, like I said, you were kind enough to get one to me this afternoon sometime, but I wasn't able to look more than just a look at it. And I don't know anybody else here that has the benefit of this for any length of time to say what what your feelings are about it, their feelings are about it, then that almost makes this a performance vote.
Well, I would disagree because after the last meeting, I sent out another red line copy that had these same changes in it.
And it's basically everything we discussed at the meeting that we had.
Yeah, there's no major differences from the meeting that you were. at.
The only difference is tonight is the
Not
date,
Major.
changing the
I'm not
times.
making difference to that. I'm at all. Alex sent me both. Apparently. I just opened one. He sent me both this afternoon sometime. I did not have a chance to even look at it. I wonder how many people were on a thread with Alex this afternoon and had the benefit of looking at it. That's all I'm suggesting is that we table this for now and try to figure out what all the changes mean.
Well, the thread that I used was responding to your email, so it was a thread you created. So that's how many people were on it.
But at the point in time and the timing, and I'm not the only one, I don't.
You're all on it. You're all on it. Everybody that was at that meeting is on it.
Have any of you made up your minds whether you like it or not?
Yes,
You have?
yes.
Okay. Well, then that makes the vote, complete. I was hoping that you'd be open to hearing some things, but I don't want to trouble you. I sent you all an email with what my thoughts were and everything. Yeah, I don't need to repeat them and take these 9 people.
Well, and as you know, we don't deliberate over email, but I told you that I, as the lawyer, disagreed with your position, but that's what your time is.
And I did look at some of them, Bob. I read them. But I did read some of the references that you made.
Yes.
And I didn't see anything that contradicted what we said.
Direct patient were probably erroneous. That's what I'm concerned about. So I'm going to go to the library and read the actual law because there are good minds that say that some of the listings that I sent you today may be erroneous, and if they are, I want to know. I mean, I don't like following somebody who's incorrect on a major scale, if you'll notice what we saw. I'm just saying, I'm open to having the AI I use to be completely incorrect.
So you didn't read the things that you asked us to read? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's
You didn't.
just copywriting. The law, all laws are copyrighted and they're not allowed to be printed in photo because they can be used. And so the excerpts have to be filtered when they come through a third party, but they're not at the library. You just read the whole thing. But I haven't been there yet, so yeah. But if you guys have made up your minds, that's where it is. But I would like to be told where I'm wrong. And if you look at the points, quite a few of them be wrong at it. And I don't want to say that. I want to know what the real thing is and go from there. Then I'll be your fan. Or a fan of this. Please. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Anybody else?
Down here 60 years. I've acquired a lot of properties over the year because I was in that line of work, construction. And I'm going to tell you people something. I have a lot of people that rent off me that are over 60 years old. They have lost their homes. You all make good income, every one of you. These people have lost their homes because of tax rate. My taxes doubled in the last 5 years. We take good care of our people. We don't have any flows. We have helped people. And you know what? When I lay my head on my pillow at night, I can live with myself. Already this year alone, I'm not in it to get rich. I'm taking anything out of this world with me. Already, we have roofed a lady's house because her husband died a few years ago, and he lost half his retirement. See, we don't live in this world down here. We're up here, well, we've got good jobs. And you forget there's little people in this world. Another guy that we helped this year, this was just this year, the last 4 months. He was down on his luck. We let him live in our apartment for 2 months and didn't charge him a dime or anything. You know what happened? He got his self-confidence back. He now has a nice job up here on Main Street, and he thanks us all the time. So that is the other side of the rental business. It's not all profit. And we've all, you know, and I don't live high. I live in a simple little house, and the rest of it I give away to help people. And this is where I'm coming from. And you all have made good money. You live off of our tax money, a lot of you, and that's where we're at. So that's what I got to say, because it's a whole different story than what you're trying to put on us now.
Okay,
We weren't here for the first meeting, so we're not here to get everything, so you'll have to pardon me if I. But I would say, one, I don't know the real benefit in this, you guys had reasons last week. But we've been here for 125 years, and this town seems to work great without this new thing, this new inspection thing. We've never had to pay $5 for all the rentals. All of that, like as he just said, it's all going to spill back on him. If you fine us for that property there, say, oh, this little thing needs to be adjusted, it's going to get up beyond $500. That person's not going to get raised, you know, you'll be sufficient. But the rentals, the other rentals, they're just going to go up to absorb the situation. Like we said, most of us here have decent incomes, but we do need to consider those people who are just barely getting by. So I don't know what you need to do to kind of adjust this thing. I'm not saying you gotta either railroad it out of town or get rid of it or throw it out the back or whatever. But just think twice before you jump. Because like you said, we try to be fair to the renters, try to make decent income ourselves. We also know there's a lot of people that are really struggling. And I think you just stop thinking about it, it's gonna spill back on the renters. It always does, unfortunately, for poor folks. And that's not good. So think twice before you jump. It's nice for Big Brother to have his hand in things. Sometimes it's not good for Big Brother to have his hand in every little situation. We've gone, I see 1865 there. We're at this point, Fortville seems to be doing pretty good out here. It's like a good, nice town to me. Sure you want to jump off this bridge? Anyhow, that's all I got to say.
I want to say thank you to both of you for taking care of people. I mean, that's, a lot of people don't do that, so that's a good thing. And we're not trying to put an undue burden on property owners. And it doesn't cost you a dime to register the properties if you do them before the end of the year. And we're going to ask you to do it one time. The only time there's ever going to be a problem is if you don't take care of your property. And we all know that you guys do. So we're not here to attack you for that. We're trying to keep away the ones that don't. This is our way of trying to, and it's a problem. I know that a lot of you might not know that, but it is a problem. And Jerry has often not been able to get a hold of people. People are in bad situations because he can't get a hold of a property owner. Yeah, and he will continue to do that. And there's no reason for us to go in your properties or do anything unless somebody has complained. And obviously some people complain about things that really just don't matter and are not significant, but he has to address them because that's part of his job. But he'll contact you guys first like he always does. Our problem is that we don't have information to contact those people. There's so many of them that he can't do that. Then he's knocking on the door with the tenants. Then it becomes a whole different situation. You know, because we can't get a hold of a property owner, but, and that really does exclude a lot of our local people. So, but we can't just, you can't exclude people. We have to include everybody in this. But you'll have the opportunity, like I said, to register these things at no cost to you. There'll be no burden on you. Nothing will really change for you as long as you continue to take care of your property. And obviously you guys do. So nobody's trying to change that for you. So I just want you to know that that's not our intention. Yeah.
They use renters, somebody dies, and most of ours die and move out. They just live there. Does that have to be redone?
No, only if you get rid of the property, only if you sell it. Same owner, estate, you never have to do it again. Yeah. Bob, please come up here because they can't hear you online if you don't come up here. Sorry. Mm.
I don't know, and I haven't spoken with any landlords, property owners, or anybody who is objecting to a registration program. You people will have a need that you see, you're doing your job, we're doing our job. I don't know of one. I haven't spoken with one, maybe there is one. There's nothing wrong at all with a registration and inspection program. Let's have one. The problem is the permit. If you morph the language, which appears to have happened from a registration and now it becomes a permit, and I haven't read all the markings on it, but if it becomes a permit, then it becomes control that I don't believe is justified, and I don't believe it is legal, that you can take us and suspend us for one reason or another, might not even be our own. So if you want to have a registration and inspection program, I'll head it up. But not permitting. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Anybody else want to speak on it? Jay, come on up.
My name's Julius Hallor Jr. On the inspections, say they come in there, you know, obviously a lot of these rentals are old. They're old. And there's stuff that's probably not up to code, but I mean, is that grandfathered in? You know, you come in there and say, okay, this has got a 100 amp service and it needs a 200 or something. I mean, is that something when they come in there to inspect it? They can just say, well, okay, you gotta, you know, do a $10,000 upgrade on this and a $5,000 upgrade. And like Bob said, I mean, I try to keep my rent cheap and my tenants all stay. I mean, I've had the same people for years. They're not leaving. I keep it cheap, you know, I mean, oh my, yeah, you got to put new carpet in, paint, and spend $5,000 and then you might get somebody that ain't worth the crap. Then, you know, that moves in and you got to throw them out a month later. I mean, is that something that it's going to be, or when they come in for the inspection, what is that going to?
Jerry, you want to answer that? Come up here and answer that for me, William.
If you're maintaining, I'm sure you did. This should never be an issue. All right. Now, if you would have bad renter, you know, I've had rental properties in the past, right, but if you have a bad renter that's at the place stuff, you probably had them. Everybody that has rental properties has. They've destroyed, like you brought up your furnace. Somebody calls and says, I don't have any heat, it's your room doing, you know, we have to come in and take a look at it. I'm obligated to tell you that you have to bring it up to current code. You can't have a 60-year-old furnace and you have to bring it up to code. That's just what building code 3. If you're asking me if I'm gonna go in there and look for problems, no, I'm gonna address the problem.
In most cases, he's going to address that with you first before he ever goes out there, you know. Right.
Is that what you're concerned about?
Yeah. I mean, I just thought, you know, like I say, I mean, I just own a lot of older units. And I mean, that could cost somebody $50,000 as fast as you snap your fingers, and you can't absorb that. I mean, like I say, he said about the taxes. That's crazy.
If I tell you that this isn't an adversarial stance or a confrontational issue that we're taking with landlords.
Yeah.
It's like Thomas said, some of these are owned by out-of-town corporations. Give you a post office box out in Texas somewhere and no phone numbers. I have no way to contact. Spend hours and hours trying to do that. It's not the case for me. I mean, I could name almost every local landlord here. You know, and some of you guys I've talked to, you I haven't talked to, and the problems with that.
Okay. Now work. Thank you.
I have respect for you guys that are reasonable with your rent, because we've always been known for that here in town. That's always been something that it is. I know.
It's crazy when I pay taxes.
I know. Yeah.
Well, the 2-car garage behind it, he's like,
Yeah.
shit, you know, that's 2 months of my rent is gone, and then the insurance is going up, you know, and then I'm eating all this.
Right.
Their rent, and they think, you know, well, we'll go somewhere else. I mean, usually I would say, hey, take a couple months and think about it, and then they call around and they're like, "Yeah."
And you, that was another thing I was, yeah,
So please, you know.
yeah. I understand.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, the property tax thing is something everybody talks about, so, and you know, you can appeal those too. I did go through that this year myself, so I'm telling you, if you feel like you're unjustly charged, you should appeal them, you know? I know it takes time, but it might be worth it.
I'm Mary Lou Garrison, and I'd just like to say this. John left me with these apartments. I would have much rather he left me with a bunch of money. It is not easy being a landlord. It is.
No, it's not.
It is difficult.
It is.
I mean, you come up all kinds of situations. Sometimes, like Bob said, you let somebody live in your apartment for 2 or 3 months because they don't have the money and they don't have a job. I mean, I don't think anybody's getting rich off of having apartments. At least I'm not. But I just wish that you would take into consideration as we implement these things, that you would take into consideration. We're not trying to be difficult. We're just trying to make it through. You know, I'm just trying to make it through, and I'm going to leave the apartments to my girls, and hopefully they will sell them. Now, say, why don't you sell them yourself? There's so many ands, ifs, and buts, and so much trouble. I can't afford to sell them. I can't afford to sell them because I live in one of them and different things. I can't afford to sell them. I can't afford to do anything else that I'm doing. But I do appreciate those that have taken time and have called me back this week. I appreciate it very much. I wish we could all get along. I wish we could all care about each other. I wish we could all be a community. And that's what we really need to be. We don't have that a lot of times, and that's very sad.
Thanks, Marilyn. Anybody else? Okay. All right. So anybody else have anything they want to add, or we gonna questions? If not, we're looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve second reading of ordinance 2026-8A, establishing the rental registration.
No second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, no, I didn't hear Fritz, so, yeah. Okay, motion carries. And I need to sign this one here. We need to do this, right? Thanks again for your contribution and your opinion. Appreciate it.
Just one point of clarification, that is with the changes we
With
discussed.
the changes, yes. Yeah.
I'll clean that up so that we can have a complete.
Yeah. So that'll be September 1st through December 31st to registration for free. And then they're working on the application part of it, so we'll get it out to you just as soon as we get it done. Okay. Up next, we have the 2027 proposed budget by Beth Marsh. This is under new business.
Okay, you should have the budget before you. So as we always do, I've met with all the department heads and gone over everything. Then we had a meeting earlier this month there was a public meeting just to sort of go over everything again, and then made some additional changes after that. So I'm just going to go over some of the final things that we made. So based on the salaries, we've increased everyone's salary in the budget for 3%. The longevity pay is changed as usual. We did have a couple price adjustments based on their positions that are pre and proposed. One's for the park manager and the other's for the town manager. On both of those, obviously none of these are all allowable in the budget. It's then obviously got to be approved in the salary resolution or salary ordinance that you have. So those are, it's just, but it's been put and allowed in the budget. Then we've added a full-time officer under the general fund. We've also added a few positions because we're trying to get everything in order in case the day comes that Joe wants to retire.
Trying to phase me out.
Yeah, phase them out, you know. We're adding a civil engineer and then an assistant town manager. We've added those positions. We've also added a deputy planner, but in that we've also eliminated the building inspector assistant position, and that's not being rehired. And one of the reasons we're adding that deputy planner is when I looked at the fees that we've received, they're up 450% over last year. So, I mean, it's definitely justifiable as far as where that's at. So that's why we've added that position. And then the benefits, we've added a 20%. So we've not gotten received the information on that yet. As far as our supplies, we've done a 3%. We did increase the police fuel to reflect the higher gas prices and then also for the additional officer. We have added $10,000 for police vest. He's applied for a $10,000 grant, which is also in that, which will cover that. If we don't receive that, we still have the funds to accommodate that, but hopefully we'll have a grant to cover those. And then we've added 3% basically for the rest of those. For our other services, again, basically overall, it's 3% for most expenses related to that. We did add a little additional monies for some planned IT cost. As far as that, we've got some increases in the trash contract based off of the contract. We've increased that, but then the offset is the revenue, which is so it offsets each other. Because we had such a liability insurance, it went up last year so much, we did include another 30% for that because we don't know exactly where that's going to come in yet. We're hoping it'll be lower, but we just wanted to make sure we accommodated that. And then we also added $2,500 additional for fireworks for next year. And then our utilities, which we normally always do, is at 10%. Capital outlays for the town portion of it, we've added for the cloud-based computing versus on our server, because we're moving that to cloud-based this year. And then the vehicles, we don't have any police vehicles in this budget. We're hoping to do a geo bond, and then a lot of times we take some as the continuing education. So we don't have any in this year's budget for that. Local road and street, we're keeping the same, which we've not really changed. It's always at the 50,000. We just kept that the same. MBH, again, we did the same for the personal services. And then there weren't really much changes in the supplies other than the 3%. We had a little bit added for some clothing and boots that's increased to the current spending. And then our other services, we have added monies for some projects. So the MBH funds that come in are split. Part of it has to have 50% of it has to be set aside for capital projects, and we've been letting that build up. Well, this year we're going to budget 350,000 of that. So part of that money is going to come out of there, and we're going to be using that restricted monies. So 200,000 of that's going to be used for that. So which is for the repairs of streets, because it's for construction, reconstruction, and preservation. So we'll be using that for paving projects. And then we're going to increase signs under capital outlays, $10,000. And then some of the other requests for equipment and things from Brian, we're going to be doing in the geo bond. And then under park, we will be increasing again fuel for higher prices for about 10%. We'll be adding trees. We're going to add trees. We're adding a line for that for $20,000. And our pest control has been a little bit higher, so we've increased that as well. We have some equipment repairs we're adding for the dump truck for $22,000. And again, our liability insurance. As far as capital outlays, we will be doing $75,000 for the planned restroom renovations. We got some fence replacements. We're adding $25,000 for trails. And then, you know, some things for the buildings. We will also be doing some of the things are going to be coming through this year, which we have been, as I've mentioned in the past, we've been trying to save for monies for that. So we've got some build up cash in the park. So we'll be doing additional appropriation at the same time we do the public hearing. So it'll be a public hearing and a resolution that you can adopt right after that. So, and I'll have that exact amount. We'll have that at the next meeting. As far as, the rest of the monies that we need for the paving, we will be taking out of the CCD, the cumulative capital development. So that one's gonna be higher than what we normally do. We'll be adding, 100,000 there. And overall, that's pretty much it. The, circuit breakers, they did finally come out and they actually did decrease a little bit. But they finally just came out, so I got those numbers. I'm still waiting for miscellaneous revenues. They're supposed to come out this week, so we'll see. They were a little late on some of the others, so hopefully we shall have that. Overall, the budget is up 20%, but a lot of that is for capital, is what the majority of that's for. But you know, there's things that the projects that we've been planning and we're able to do those this year. Does anyone have any questions?
I do not.
So we'll have the public hearing at the second meeting in September, and then the first meeting in October is when we'll do the budget approval. If anyone has any questions or anything before then, just please reach out to Missy or myself and we'll be happy to answer that.
Okay, good. Thanks, Beth.
Yeah, Joe, didn't you say for the civil engineer that may change or?
Well, the title of it may change. I think
Okay.
both of those positions she mentioned, that the title might be just a little different, but the funding is still the same.
Okay, so their salaries, what's on here is what it's gonna be then?
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that could change still then. Okay, okay. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Beth. You're gonna have to stay here all night. Okay, next up, we have a revised, the 2027 budget for the fire territory. The lit actually came in, there's a 10.9% increase countywide lit. So the original proposed amount, the original proposed budget we had was a deficit of 204,000. But with the improvements, we're in excess to 52,960. So the new budget goal, it's what's shown here on this. 7,564,739 would be the new budget for the 2027 Vernon Township Fire Territory. So we just need to make a motion to approve this new revised budget for the fire territory. Unless you have questions about why it's changing, but it's really for the better, so.
Yeah, what are they getting for the?
They'll be allocate the capital expenses, including a camera upgrade, turnout gear, and a training building. We've also approved 3 full-time positions for the firefighters too. So all that'll be able to happen now. I think, correct. Yeah, it was 204,000 was the deficit. And now we're over at 52,960.
Even with the proposed changes, right?
Yes. I think, yeah, the actual, so the budget goal was 7,564,739. And then the proposed budget from the fire territory is 7,511,779. I think Florrie's on there if she has, I don't know if she has anything to add to that. I hope I got everything that. I think that's it. So we just need to approve that budget for them if everybody's in favor of that.
I'll make a motion to approve the revised 2027 Fire General Fund budget.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Okay, next up, we have the BOT agreement for Landmark and Memorial Park. And this is Doug with Reynolds Construction.
Good evening, Doug Tischbein with Reynolds Construction. Nice to see you again. I apologize, I'm a couple of weeks late in being here. I was anticipating being here the first of the month, but we ran into a little concern about the ADA compliance to the north side of the new pedestrian bridge. Got all that figured out and worked out. So I think over the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of improvements. Memorial Park added to the project on some restroom renovations. So we worked with Heath in order to come up with those numbers. Alex has given us a red line version of the agreement, which we gave a couple of weeks ago, and we've accepted all of those. We had to add the exhibits, which goes through the pricing and some of the GMP reports, guaranteed maximum price reports, and some other exhibits that'll be filled in at a later date, more towards the end of the project. So really at this point in time, our original number on just Landmark, if you remember, was $1,941,408. And working with Heath on the Memorial Park upgrades, that was an additional 243. So we're currently at 2.184 million. And I think we're asking for approval of the agreement tonight so we can get to work.
We want you to get to work.
So do we.
When do you expect to mow in and be ready to start?
So we've got a couple of pre-construction meetings I know we need to set up with Adam. We've got to get through the state permitting processes, which we've already started. I'm hopeful that we're going to have boots on the ground probably within, don't hold me to it, but I'm going to say 30 days. With an anticipated completion in March of next year.
You said March 1st of next year. Is that what you said? Or
March of next year.
Okay.
I think the document says on a tentative schedule that it's scheduled for April 1st. So as soon as we get through the pre-construction meetings and the permitting, I'll be able to give you a schedule so you'll see what the actual deliverable is.
Any questions?
Nope.
Yeah. Guess we'll look for a motion then to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the BOT agreement for Landmark and Memorial Parks.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Let's get going.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you very much.
Yep. If you can get started earlier, that'd even be great.
That'll be good.
That too. Not to put any pressure on you or anything. Yeah, no kidding. If any of us could be nice. Okay. Next, we have the MOU Water Agreement with McCordsville. Joe?
Okay, this is something that we've been talking about with McCordsville for a while and brought it up with the council several times over the year. This is an MOU between the town of Fortville and the town of McCordsville to service water into the territory that will eventually become McCordsville, or should be McCordsville before the service is ever provided. And just to refresh your memory, we've got an MOU with McCordsville that 400 will be our boundary as far as annexation. So we will not annex beyond 400 and they won't come this direction. A big part of this MOU, and I know part of their concern is we for one, we just wanted to make sure that they were good with us getting into that territory and then giving us a territory that we could plan to make sure that we could size the mains properly and make sure that we'll be able to service the area correctly. And then their part of the agreement was more of a concern that we don't try to annex across that original agreed upon 400 boundary just because we are servicing the water to that area. So that's pretty much what this agreement spells out. And if you look at the very last page, there's an exhibit there. It's got the drawing. 400 West is where the town of Fortville's limits are. Our sewer territory ends at 400 West. McCordsville comes up to 400 West on the west side of the road. There's about a square mile roughly. It's kind of marked out there that makes more sense for Fortville to service them. We stopped, we didn't go any further south because I think there's some development that they're proposing along 234 that will more than likely have citizens in the area. Makes more sense for citizens to serve them than it would for us. So this was kind of a mutual agreed upon territory that worked for McCordsville, worked for us, that we could serve, and it would allow them to continue to grow, because as of right now, citizens is not prepared to service part of this territory, and we can. So there you have it. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
What would be responsible for servicing any problems out there and right of ways, and we'll have access to all that? Or
Yeah, all the water mains will be owned by the town of Fortville once it's said and
Okay.
done. So yeah, we'll take care of all the maintenance, hydrant flushing and exercising the valves, and just like we do the Hamilton County area.
so the big benefit, I guess, that we get is that utility money, the water money and stuff coming in.
You know, we get the asset of the additional plant, and then the revenue. And as you know, the bigger your user base is, the easier it is to try to keep the cost down for everybody paying into it. Because the more people we have paying into the system, it allows us to keep our rates lower and keeps it. In fact, when we go back to the water, prior to our last rate increase, and we had to do the water treatment plant, which we we're going to do a water treatment plant anyway, we hadn't raised our rates for over about 16 or 17 years. And a lot of that was based on extending our utilities out and being able to pick up more users. Was able to keep our rates down for everybody here.
Get hookup fees and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yep, and I think I brought this up earlier, but there will be a time that we're going to need to drill an additional well and add some additional filtering at the water treatment plant. The plant was designed to add that on, and the fees that they'll pay for connection will essentially cover the cost for all that replacement or add-on. I noticed McCordsville hasn't signed this. I know that they've already approved it in theory. There was some tweaks that they wanted the town managers, myself and Tim Gropp to look at and make sure that we were good with it, or to put some things in place. But in theory, they've already approved it. So we just got to get them to sign it.
How do you guys decide the third party?
It's written up in here and it's kind of lengthy, so.
That's kind of like, how do you get the third party that
Yeah.
would be beneficial?
We only need the third party if there gets to be a point in time that, say Tim and I can't agree on something,
Mhm.
or my predecessor, whoever the town managers are at the time. If they can't agree upon it, then they'll select a mutual party. It's not going to benefit either community either way.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of curious where you get that, where you get that person from.
So what do you need from us? Do you need us to approve?
Yeah, just vote on it and sign it, and then we'll get it to McCordsville and let them do the same.
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU Water Agreement with McCordsville.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make sure we sign the right page here. One's from.
If you mess up, I gotta know.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, I just lost it. Okay, next up, we have council to consider resolution number 2026-8C, approving and adopting a Parks and Recreational Facilities naming rights policy. And
Alex, I don't know, do you want to
Sure.
lead us in this?
Yep, I can run through this. This is something that we've talked about both council and then with Heath. As you're working on these improvements to the parks and some other buildings throughout the town, having an opportunity or having a specific policy for naming rights. And so we looked at some other communities. We found, I think that Zionsville had one that seemed to work with us. So we modeled and finessed that from a starting point to get what we've got in front of you this evening to create a policy that if someone comes to the town and would like to have their name on a public facility, this outlines the process that they would go through doing that.
It says a lot more than I thought it would.
A lot of, well, into that, you always try to have a balance, but who installs it and what if who maintains it?
Right.
And so those types of, we tried to address those issues. So longer than it could have been, but we wanted to try to cover the town and also make any potential, business or person that wanted to take advantage of it and have the naming rights, that they're going to have some responsibilities as well. It's not just, write a check for, X amount and then they don't have, there's some responsibilities that go on with that. So
Sure.
that's why it's 8 pages. 7, actually 6. Selling myself short. It starts on the resolution's 2 pages.
Each name that we choose a name, let's say we have new parks that come along.
Mhm.
It's voted on the majority on the name. It's just
Yes.
not one person naming it.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So specifically, in section 4, the town council governs the approval of naming rights.
So along those lines, Heath Luther, Parks Manager, for the record, I wanted to bring to your attention that I received a phone call this past week from, does anybody know Charles Bailey? He had a plaque dedicated over to him in Landmark Park.
Oh, yeah.
One of the trees.
He was on the park board for a lot of years.
So his son Philip passed away. I got a phone call from his grandson Jake. They would like to donate $25,000 to the park to rebuild the retaining wall by the basketball court and put up a fence along the creek to keep balls from going in there. And his only ask was if we could put up a sign that was basically Philip Bailey Memorial Basketball Court. And so I don't know if that really pertains to what we're talking about here from a gazebo standpoint, but I wanted to bring to your attention as we're going through this, that there'll be opportunities such as, this young man. And my understanding of it is the plan for him is to stick another $25,000 in an account, and every year, whatever interest accrues, figure out some way to give it back through the parks and or schools. And so it's something he wants to continue to do, but it'll be something that he's looking for, just kind of confirmation. Is that something that the council will be willing to do? And so obviously with having his naming rights, paperwork, I want to make sure that, we are still allowing for things like that if and when they come up.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome. That's really nice.
thank you.
Joe, are you good with all this? You didn't see anything in here that was concerning, did you?
No, I didn't see anything that was really concerning at all.
Yeah.
I know it's something we've been talking about for quite some time. And
Yeah. I think it looks good. I mean,
Seems pretty thorough.
I really didn't see anything that concerned me either, so. Guess we're looking for a motion in.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-8C, approving and adopting the Parks and Recreation Facilities naming rights policy.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sure.
People. Community fund renaming. So as you go through your advertisements and solicitations, try to be pretty specific about what you ask. And this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the social media results of. Abraham Lincoln was it?
Oh, I guess it was. It makes sense. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
He would like.
Abraham Lincoln said, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet."
That's right. Again. Yeah. Yep. Okay, next up, we have the council to consider first reading of ordinance 2026-8B. It's amending the 2026 salary ordinance. I'll just start off with this first, I guess, because this was something that I recommended to Beth and that we need to try to do here moving forward in the next few years to prepare for Joe's exit. His salary has never been, and really still wasn't at where it should be. And we're trying to get it to the level it was comparatively to find someone that will somewhat replace what he does. So this part of this here is to actually amend his salary. So the town manager's biweekly pay would change to $4,330.77. And then also it's adds in the senior planner to be hired. I think they've already had applications and stuff on that too. So this is the reason that we're asking to amend this salary ordinance. And I don't know, Joe, if you want to add anything or.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much covered everything.
Yeah. So we are closer to having it where it should be. I think, and if we stay on top of it for the next few years, we should be ready by the time he gets ready to retire to attract the right person, hopefully.
Is this starting from today?
Yeah,
Or is it retro?
it is not retro, not retro. It's
It won't be
starting.
till after the ordinance is passed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions?
Okay, so this ordinance is for this year.
Correct.
So then we still got
Yes,
next year.
yeah, we haven't seen the salary ordinance for 20.
Gotcha, okay.
We'll see that after the October, after the budget's passed.
So how soon are we looking to get that senior planner?
I think,
We extended a job offer to a candidate and it was accepted. I can tell you more about it during planning and building comments.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't steal his thunder. That's what he's saying.
I don't want to disrupt the flow.
Yeah. Okay, so if there's no other questions to that, then I'm looking for a motion to approve this salary amendment.
I'll make a motion to approve first reading of ordinance 2026-8B, amending the 2026 salary ordinance.
1 second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Did Libby vote?
I say.
The name, right?
We have to be able to see Libby though.
Is Libby still on there?
So 3-1.
Yeah.
Everyone?
Yeah.
3-1.
So where do I put Olivia? Is it staying or where just that we
Yeah.
should?
She
Yeah.
disappeared. She might even lost connection. I don't know. Okay. And that passes 3-1. First reading. Okay, up next, we have council to consider commercial lease agreement for the community center with Indy Sharks baseball.
I can cover this if you'd like, just to save Heath the trouble to walk up.
Sure.
As you know, this is the same lease terms that we had with the Sharks from last year. Same rent, same terms. That was the only thing that changed, was to make it so that they can continue to be there for another year. And then next year, if they give us notice that they want to extend, we've got the right to negotiate an increase in rent or other terms at that time. But this would just allow them to continue being in the space and using the space under the same conditions as the existing lease.
Any problems last year, Heath? Any questions from anybody up here?
Good. Questions?
I'll make a motion to approve commercial lease agreement for the community center with Indy Sharks baseball for 2000 well, just for the next year. Is that what it is?
It
26, 27.
starts September 1st is when it would
September 1st, yeah.
renew.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Do I need to sign this one? Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have council to consider purchase of a utility terrain vehicle by the Fortville Police Department. Pat?
Good evening. Like I mentioned the last meeting, that we had some refunds that weren't really expected to the PD. And there's funding there, and have been looking at a way to give us some off-road capability to patrol the parks a little bit easier, patrol the trails, things like that. And with the recent floods, I know a lot of departments have used them for that type of stuff, knock on wood. We hadn't had any of that. I think Pendleton kind of got hit a little bit, and Cambridge City was underwater, and a lot of the southeast communities were underwater. So I have the money in my budget that's been basically fully refunded by some overpayments and by insurance. And I reached out and got 3 quotes, which you guys all have. Here's the summary of the quote with all the specs. Everything's the exact same except from Indy Power Sports. They did not have what I was looking for, so they quoted a higher end model, which I'm really not interested in. But I'd like to get approval to go ahead and make that purchase from Fear Power Sports in Bern, Indiana, for $26,725. That covers everything that we would need to have some off-road capability and to be able to patrol the trails a little bit easier. And with the town growing, and we're putting in more trails and parks and things like that, it just gives us a different advantage than what we currently have with a truck or a patrol vehicle. We don't have any off-road capable vehicles, even though they're all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. They're not going to go through water or mud or anything like that.
What's the top speed on these? I couldn't find it in the specs.
It's not in the specs. I can do the real quick Google search for you. Hold on.
I was just curious.
Top speed of a Polaris Ranger XP 1000. 60 to 65 miles an hour, sir. They will not. Hopefully, we won't ever need to go that fast.
I bet you it'll be tested.
Yeah.
The
There will be new policies on this piece of equipment.
is that cost like fully outfitted?
That is fully outfitted. Only thing we would have to do is add some lights, which I have some in the garage, and then get some. We have leftover decals out in the garage from some of the other vehicles, so we would throw some decals on it and some lights in it and a siren, and that's really about it. Those would be very minimal costs. We have the equipment, just some installation fees. Couple $100, I don't know.
Okay. We will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of a UTV by the Fortville Police Department from Fear Power Sports for $26,725.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So next we have departments. Joe?
Okay, real quick. Let me turn my mic on so you can hear me. The trails plan is coming along pretty good right now as far as the section 2. We're still looking to let that project November 5th. Seems like everything's lining up with all of our permits and all the NDOT stuff that we need. So looking forward to getting moving on that project. NDOT has given us the approval for the intersection at 13 and Broadway for the South Madison Boulevard project that we're working on. We would talk to NDOT about expediting that permit just due to some of the other intersections that NDOT's going to be working on the next few years. We can try to get our project done before they start closing down some of those other intersections and causing detour issues. And then we've got a 300 foot of 10-inch storm pipe that's on McCarty Street north of Church. We've been having a lot of issues, and I think a lot of you've probably gone through the standing water on Stat Street there at McCarty when we get a good rain. The pipe, we tried to get a video through it. The only thing we could get a video through, the pipe was busted and collapsed and pretty bad shape, and it's packed full of stones. So we're going to be getting some price quotes to set one manhole and run about 300 feet of storm pipe so we can fix that and get that drain flowing again. Just an update on the alley. They're on Main Street. All the concrete's in, the dirt's in, the electricals ran, the water's ran. Our goal is we got a patch on the west side where they had to dig up the water main. We want to get that patched, try to get all the plantings in there and get it opened up for the Blazer 88 ride this weekend and definitely before Cammy's calls.
Good.
So I know Heath has picked up all the plants, and if the weather holds off, they'll be getting those put in the ground on Wednesday.
Looks really nice.
Thank you. I'll pass that along to the guys that worked so hard to put it in.
Mhm.
So that storm line you were talking about replacing, does all 300 feet need to be replaced, or can just a spot repair?
Actually, the project is probably closer to a little over 400 feet. And what I'm doing is I'm setting the structure at that location, and then from the structure north of Church Street to the ditch, it all needs to be replaced. The segment from there back to the original manhole, I'm gonna see about getting that lined. I need to do some more inspection on some of the other pipe in there first. I'm just trying to do the worst of it as far as replacement.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little tricky because we got a storm sewer and a sanitary sewer and a water main and everything in there, and there's previously been dug and we're gonna be 10 foot deep, so that makes it a little bit more sketchy when you got previously disturbed trenches along next to where we're digging.
How far, or how deep is that sanitary though? It's probably 20, 30 feet.
No, it's not
Oh.
that deep in there. In fact, it's probably gonna be real close to the 10 foot deep. So
Really?
it's gonna be, because that was part of our combined sewer system back in the day.
Yeah.
We put in a new sanitary at the same elevation or maybe a little bit deeper than the existing storm, and just used the storm converted the combined to sanitary or storm sewer. That's all I have unless you got something for me.
Yeah, I got a question. The trees that are in the easement, I had a resident say that he's hitting his head on trees as he's coming through on Stat and on Main Street. Is the town responsible for that, or is it the homeowner right in front?
It's realistically, it's the homeowners, because in most cases it's their tree. But we've been going out and trimming them. Anytime anybody reports anything, even though that we do have the ordinance that says that the homeowner is supposed to maintain them, if somebody reports it to us, we're going out and taking care of it.
Okay, because he was just wondering if he could volunteer to trim them back. If it's to get it done. There's quite a few. He drove me around today. There's a lot of trees that are.
Yeah, just give me a route and I'll get our guys to do it. We can knock it out quicker and we can get rid of the limbs. If homeowners see somebody out there besides the street department.
Well, I'm
trimming
just asking
trims,
for him if it's
right,
possible.
it's like, I don't know that I want to get somebody out there doing that voluntarily and
Okay.
get hurt or something like that. And then the property owners, I know even when the street guys are out there, we've been yelled at by property owners, so. It'd probably be cleaner.
I didn't know if there was an ordinance that they had to keep them so high or.
They just need to, yeah, for ADA purposes and stuff, they need to be high enough, you're not going to hit your head on them.
Okay, because he's pretty tall. He's like 6'5". So he's probably tall as Andy. So
Just get me a route. Get me a route and we'll make sure.
okay. I'll have him write up a route. Thanks.
And we always have that app on our website where people can report an issue. So we've been getting quite a few of those lately. All right.
Adam?
Yes, the only thing that I wanted to report on was to follow up on the senior planner position. So really quickly, for the public's benefit too, is we had there's myself, and there's Jerry in the department, and then we had a part-time administrative assistant, Sarah. She did a wonderful job, but she went ahead and took full-time employment elsewhere. So rather than refilling that position, we actually eliminated it and then converted it to a planner, just have an additional planner, so that this way that this person has the ability to review items and also approve items. And it'll hopefully make things more efficient for the residents. Like I had mentioned, I think maybe at a previous meeting, ultimately what we'd like to get to is some over-the-counter approvals for some simple things, whether that's easement encroachments, electrical permits, sheds, really routine type items. So in order to do that, we interviewed probably about, I think we interviewed 7 people, and we had probably maybe about 45 applicants in one fashion or another. So we had a really good amount of qualified people that were interested in the position. And it was originally going to be an assistant planner, kind of a lower tier entry level position. However, we ended up offering the job to, her name is Hannah Rose Urbanski. She was the planning director. She was an interim planning director and then became planning director in Pendleton. She's got her undergraduate degree in planning, master's in planning. So she's got great experience, especially in a small town like ours. So very personable, very knowledgeable. Definitely looking forward to having her start. She's going to start on Monday, October 5th. So that's where we're at with that. And if you have any questions, happy to address those.
Did you get a chance to look at that sign? Because when you look at the drawings on McDonald's, it looks like that Fortville sign is even with the where people have to stop at the McDonald's before they go into the walkway. It's pretty flush straight on for a site.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to look at it yet, but we certainly have time. And your point is well taken, that we want to make sure that Fortville sign's not going to cause a site visibility issue there with people coming in and out of the McDonald's. So if we need to adjust it, we certainly can. I think the state would want us to do that too. So yeah, we'll definitely, it's on the list and we'll continue to look at it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
With that senior planner having her master's and all that, is there any fear of being overqualified? That I don't know how much schooling it normally takes and stuff for that position, but I just didn't know, like I said, if it would be overqualification and.
Yeah, the other thing that we did too that I forgot to mention was that is why the position, although the funding is at the same amount that we had originally anticipated, we did at least give her a higher title of senior planner to reflect her qualifications. So I think in talking to her, I think she wants to get back into municipal planning and she's familiar with Fortville. So I think certainly with any applicant, there's always a degree of risk that person may move on. But at the end of the day, I think given the applicant pool that we had, it was a strong pool. There's no doubt that she was the most qualified and also had the best experience for a town like Fortville. So we'll see. Looking forward to it.
That's good.
No issues you think of her hourly pay and stuff? I mean, she gonna start wanting a lot more money and stuff after a few months or a year?
Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
And
So we told her what the pay was when she was applying and see if it was something she'd be
Yeah.
interested in.
Okay.
Yeah, we had those discussions early on. And so
Cool. Hope she works out.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think she will. Any other questions on planning stuff? No. Okay. That's it for me then.
He's coming up.
Joe touched on Main Street, talked about the 25,000. So that's all I got for you tonight, unless you guys have any questions for me.
I don't have any.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. And Andy, what's on your plan?
We have Blazer 88 this weekend. Should be a nice event as long as weather is good. And then the following weekend, Cammy's Cause. So they're actually on, some of you may have seen it on Facebook, but they are going to have a celebration. It was supposed to happen last Saturday. It's going to be this Saturday at 11:30 in the morning at Three Rivers, and where Cammy's Cause received a check to put them over the $1 million mark for funds that they've raised for the -4P program and everything. And it's going to be a big deal. So Jared sent us a message just asking everybody to come out for that if they could, to help celebrate when they come back out. Doesn't have to be anything long, just, something that they've been working on for, here we are in the 22nd year of that. So it's going to be awesome. Other than that, I think that's all I have. That is this Saturday at Three Rivers, 11:30 a.m.
And do you know where people can get like yard signs?
A bunch of them showed up this weekend around town. And your wife actually asked me about that as well. And they're supposed to be bringing some up to us here as well. So I'll find out for sure if anybody needs one, I can get one for you or whatever. I mean, we got just under 2 weeks now from that for that huge event. So 5 stages, 33 bands. It's going to be a pretty big deal. And encourage everybody to, if you can light up your house with green lights, that's the official color of Cammy's Cause, and decorate storefront windows and decorate your house if you want. I think Fritz has already started that. Anything else from me?
Are they still looking for donations and stuff for their auction?
I'm not sure.
I don't know that either. I was
always looking for donations, I believe. So
yeah.
Reach out and ask.
Okay. Pat, anything else from you?
Yep. Officer Payne graduates this week from ILEA, so we'll be happy to get him back. Officer Moreland in the back there, we submitted his waiver to the Law Enforcement Training Board from Illinois. They held their meeting today, so we're waiting to hear back to see if his waiver was approved or not. Assuming it will be, with some stipulations of doing our criminal law traffic law type stuff. And then last week I got Alex the new MOU for the school for 26 through 31. He's gonna give me the final blessing on it, and then I'll get it to the school. We can continue staff officers out there, and then in the MOU, it also states that they'll be responsible for a vehicle. So I know Beth said that we were working on some. Beth and I talked about having school get one for us next year also, so that should get us in line where we need to be. But it's nice that they're willing to do that and just buy us, well, we buy the car and then they just pay us back. So other than that, I don't have anything unless you got questions.
Nothing. Missy, you have anything for us? Alex, you have anything else for us?
I don't have anything else unless you have questions for me.
Any more public comment? Ryan, you have anything?
I do not. Thank you.
I have nothing.
I'm good. I'm good.
Looking for a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
I'll make a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:52.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for coming.